Hey, it's Fuchsia, and today we're going to talk about working with the moon. I've been working with the moon pretty much my entire life, longer than I actually accepted that I was a witch, and a lot of my work was unconscious up until that point. When I finally accepted my path and started exploring witchcraft deliberately, the moon was one of the first things I went to. For me, it's easy and natural, but for others, you may not know where to start, so let's talk about how to do so. The moon has been honored and revered for as long as civilization has recorded history. The moon influences so much on Earth. Even if you don't follow or believe in astrology, there are plenty of other things it exerts influence on. The Earth's tides, our sleep patterns, menstrual cycles, wildlife habits, and more. Humanity has created countless myths about the moon from every culture in our history. From Nana and Suin, the Sumerian moon god, to modern stories like Sailor Moon. It's always been a part of our lives, so how do you start working with it more deliberately? Well, let me recommend a few ways to start working with and understanding the moon. First, we have the phases. The moon's phases each have significance when it comes to spell work, manifestation, and the general cycles of our lives. The new moon is great for new beginnings, planning, and setting goals. As it grows in the sky, in the waxing phases, it's time to work on those new moon intentions and making them grow. This is the time for action and bringing in what you want. The full moon is when it's most powerful and is great for anything that needs a powerful push. As it's in the middle of the cycle, it's also good for workings of all different kinds that fit with both the waxing and the waning phases. Then, as the moon turns to the waning phase, decreasing in the sky, it's time to focus on banishment, introspection, and getting rid of what is no longer serving you and your goals. When it reaches the end of the cycle, the dark moon, just before the new moon and new cycle, is perfect for darker or heavier magic, protection spells, and deep shadow work. Of course, you can work on all of these things during any phase of the moon, but timing spells and intentions to specific phases helps boost their power. The moon is only one of many, many correspondences for magic, but it's the one I factor in the most. The moon moves through the astrology signs just as the planets and other celestial bodies in our solar system do. The moon phase cycle lasts 28 days and takes just about as long to go through all the signs, spending 2 to 3 days in each one. While in each sign, the moon's energy is amplified by that sun's energy. Cancer full moons tend to bring strong emotions and a focus on loved ones. Libra moons are about finding balance, and Aries energy kicks you into gear on any projects or passions. This, of course, is just scratching the surface of the moon in astrology, but even this is a lot of energy. Learning the moon's astrology was how I first started learning astrology in general, with the notable help of oracle decks like Moonology and Heavenly Bodies. So if you're looking for a very simple introduction to moon astrology, I'd recommend picking up one of those decks. But as a note, not the Moonology Manifestations deck, which is the newer Moonology deck and is different. One of the easiest ways to get in tune with the moon is to keep a moon journal. You can start simple, just writing on the full and new moons. I write down the date, what phase and sign the moon is, and any other major astrological events that may affect it, such as eclipses, supermoons, and retrogrades. I also record what the general vibe of the moon is astrologically and my mood. Then I just write about what's currently going on in my life and what I'm focusing on, and sometimes take notes on how the moon should be affecting my big three, sun, moon, and rising. You can quickly look these up on astrology sites and articles since they change with every month and what's going on in the sky. Moon journaling has been extremely insightful for me because I found that I'm almost always dealing with life events that line up with the moon's placement. I was more in tune with the moon than I thought. If you read tarot, doing a reading and writing it down is also a great way to journal about the moon. You can keep it simple with a basic, what do I need to focus on kind of reading, Or you can look up different spreads for each moon phase and sign if you want to. There are lots out there. Moonlight itself is a reflection of the sun's light, so it's a great tool to tap into those reflective powers. Scrying in a bowl of water is a practice that goes back further than anyone knows for sure, at least back to the ancient civilization of Sumeria. It also makes a great mirror, as told in the Greek tale of Narcissus. Use it to look upon yourself inward and out. But remember that a mirror doesn't show things exactly as they are, they're flipped around, so use discernment in this. And while the moon reflects, it also hides. We only see the same side of the moon, no matter its placement and phase. The moon's mysteries and things hiding in the shadows are important to acknowledge and understand when working with the moon. Intuition is vital moon energy, but so is illusion. The moon has many faces, and some of them are tricksters. For more on this, I recommend familiarizing yourself with the moon card in tarot. It has a lot to say about moon energy and how to work with it. There are a lot of things you can do that are low energy but harness the power of the moon for spell work and other magic. Fill a jar or a bottle with water and leave it out in the light of the full moon for moon water. You can use this water in potions, for ritual baths, to water your plants, when cleaning your floors, pretty much anything. You can also collect rainwater or snow if that's what the weather is doing on the full moon. And don't be worried about the sky being covered in clouds. The energy of the moon is still there, and even a few minutes of it peeking through the clouds does the job. Oh, and I've been saying full moon, but really you can do this with any phase. The full moon is just most common because it's noticeable, powerful, and pretty all-purpose. I usually make moon water of both the new and full moons, and I label them with the date, sign, and any other astrological events, and the astrology vibe, like my moon journal entries. Yes, I'm overly organized. What can I say? I'm a Capricorn. Like moon water, you can leave crystals or other magical items out under the moon to charge them with the moon's power. People also use moonlight to cleanse crystals, talismans, and even tarot decks. When I make spell bottles to give to others, I always set them out under the full moon first to give them extra power. I feel like the bottles will work longer as a result, even if I'm not there to renew the spell. But that might just be me. I like to do one more thing to preserve the full moon's power, should I need it the rest of the month. Knots. This is especially good for stitch witches like me. Take a string, thread, yarn, whatever you like working with if you have a preference, or just whatever's on hand. The length is up to you, but I'd recommend about the length of your forearm if you're not sure. Hold the string up to the moon and tie a knot around it in your view. Do this for as many knots as you see yourself needing throughout the month. Then simply untie a knot when you need the full moon energy for working. So these are just some of the ways that are great to start working with the moon. And if this is still too much, just go outside and look at it. Every full moon, even if I do nothing else, I take a few moments to step outside and appreciate its beauty. Sometimes that's all you need to do. I hope this video helps your work with the moon. How do you incorporate the moon into your practice, or how do you plan to? Is there anything else you'd like to know about the moon and magic? Feel free to comment down below. And as always, subscribe if you want to see more witchy content from me, and check out the other links below to see my other stuff around the web, including Twitch streams and a candle shop. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, magical day.